all the way from Langshangpo. So what we've got is a mixed selection pack, which is what I've been after for ages, because a lot of them do packs of 5, packs of 10, packs of 20, 30, but they're all the same size. So that means you've got to buy loads of multiple packs of quantities you probably don't want for an amount of money you don't want. Now, here on good old Amazon UK is exactly the same stuff. Gives you all the sizes there. Hopefully it can focus because I can't see the screen. And up there you will see the not so bargain price, although given that maybe a pack of 5 of those are 5 or 6 quid, that might seem cheap for 48 pieces. I think they're 500ml long. But if you go to one of my favourite websites, oh look, and free shipping. All you got to do is pay the VAT on the top of that, so it comes to about 13, 14 quid. And it's exactly the same stuff. You can see the picture's just reversed. That's Eve Model, who also do sell on Amazon, but that's not Eve Model. Although it probably is them, just masquerading under another trading name, as they have multiple accounts. But if you find them, they're pretty good for axles, spoked wheels, although they're HO format, so they're a little bit short for some of the stuff, so you have to drill out your chassis and put bearings in. But they do quite a few bits, and when you're searching on their store, down the bottom, as you can just see at shop, which I can't scroll because I'm holding the camera, you will find alternative sellers selling similar or same products for more or less money. But that's straight from China. Then so is that one. That's a Chinese Amazon seller. This is AliExpress, which is basically a Chinese version of Amazon. Takes about, I don't know how long it's been, about 10 days I think, direct shipping from them to me. I've had quite a bit of stuff off them before in the past, but as you can see, I could buy 2 lots from them for the same amount of money I would have to have spent on Amazon. So I've just bought them for, you know, little fixing, scratch building. This is by far the most economic way of buying it, although sort of 14, 15 quid outlay is a bit of a chunk of money for me at the minute, but that'll last ages. And good length as well, so there's plenty of uses out of that. I think a lot of them are only 300ml, where I think this is 500. So there's your bargain tip for today, folks. Well, hello everybody, and I thought today's little video update, blog, whatever you want to call it, as we haven't actually got a railway layout to be building yet. We're still working towards getting that off the ground completely, literally. Here is my little table. I've just it was in my old railway layout shed, looking rather worse for wear. It had got damp, wet, swelled up. You can see there's sort of watermarks. I've sanded it all down. It's been dried for quite a while. Sanded it and varnished both sides, and the underside is a little sort of, it's like a 60-30 sort of split. It's quite a substantial table. It's made out of metal. But this is where my little centre was in my shed for doing electronics and model making and such like. So it's having a regeneration, a rebirth. So we've got, as you can see there in front of my extensive collection of beer glasses, is my magnifying light. As like everyone, my eyesight's not what it used to be, and anything is of a help now. Some things I've already had. Sometimes some of these I've bought another one like this. I don't know where my other one is, but I picked this up off Facebook for £4, but I think originally there's another one in one of my toolboxes somewhere, which I think they're about £10 or £12. But you've got a ball joint on there, so you can swing it around in all sorts of planes that way. We used to use a similar one where I used to work quite as robust, but for this sort of work we do, they're ideal. Pair of helping hands. Again, I've got another set of these with the magnifying lens. I've also got another one somewhere, which is basically a little soldering station in my little cupboard up here. But it's a similar sort of thing, but got a soldering iron holder, little LED light, magnifying screen, and then if you really want to boost, there's another little bracket underneath so you can ump up the magnification even more. I've just purchased, although I haven't planned on doing a review, it's in that box there, is an SMD soldering iron, which has got the hot air type gun with it as well for doing surface mount work. Where was we? Yeah, would be handy with the blow air feature, obviously, if I want to do any surface mount circuit board repair work, or the little hot air gun can be useful for making plastic move, warming it up and repositioning it, shaping it, melting it, also heat shrink as well, which I've got a couple of those multi-packs somewhere. I'll probably, if people are interested, I'll do a more extensive sort of tool kit sort of thing. So yeah, we've got a couple of the various helping hands. New pair of wire cutters. I saw DCC Concepts had released a pair that basically do the same job, but they're about 3 times the price of what these ones are. They're probably a bit nicer than these, but at the end of the day, if they do the job, it's got facilities to do wire cutting and crimping, and an auto set for your wire stripping. I've never bothered with one of these, only occasionally I used to use them at work when we'd be doing mass sort of production of leads for soldering onto components. And you've got your, if you are doing repetitive work, you can do that as your end stop so that you can cut multiple pieces. Might be useful if you're doing dropper wires, crimp wires. Excuse me. I saw these on my favourite website. They're a bit like Scotch lock connectors, or suitcase connectors as some people call them. Whereas, say like a bus wire, you'd terminate into your bus wire, nip that up, that then sits on your wire, you crimp that to your dropper wire or accessory wire, lightning wire, and that plugs into there. It's not going to at the minute because it's obviously not nipped up, but basically you give yourself a termination at any point where you can break into your wire, and then just use a spade connector and pop a connection wherever you like. I think probably for main bus wire I will be hard soldering everything, but for vaccine, lighting and anything like that, or stuff you might add in at a later stage and you really don't want to be messing around with a soldering iron underneath your board, they're quite handy. They come as a kit of 20-25 components. I've got another one on order. I thought that was rather handy. Another little thing to have in the box. Also, the little screws. I've already used some of these when I've modified and put some NEM pockets on some bogies. And they are, let me have a look on the screen. They're 3mm by my thumbnail, and the other ones are 10mm. I bought 500, I think there is, which I'm going to use to secure the track on my helix, or rather hold it down rather than secure it, because I want to leave the track floating so that it can move during temperature change, because obviously you can't really go back in and repair any buckling on a helix without a major overhaul. Another one I've had for a long while is another little vise. As you can see there, you've got 4 screws and the little, I don't know what you'd call them, little attachments that are held in by the screws for gripping odd shapes, so you can change the positions of those to fit, say, like a circular type item that you had in there. They also come with a set of jaws that you can turn around both ways. And again, that was sort of a sub £10 type thing. It's got the hole so you could mount it on a hobby lathe or such like. But that I bought again just for holding things that are a little bit more awkward. You want something a little bit more versatile than a conventional vice. These are plastic jaws, so they're a little bit more forgiving on some of the work. With me also being a little bit electronics wise, I bought myself a full set of tweezers, which obviously these are ESD ones, so they shouldn't hold a static charge to damage any components you're using on computers or circuit boards, allegedly anyway. Grandad tip, I think that's the 14, I think the smallest one. I don't know why there's that. They all do the same thing. There's only one angled one there. The only thing I haven't got is a set of locking ones. I have one set, but they're a little bit too powerful for a lot of the... So if you wanted to paint people and that, I wouldn't really trust. But that one's nice and fine. Cue the next segment. Because I've been shopping more than once, and I bought one of these because obviously being a railway enthusiast, you tend to end up being a railway ania enthusiast as well. And yeah, we picked one of those up, got it working, and now we have a full scale rear warning light, which obviously didn't meet its planned preventative maintenance in 1998. So yeah, that brings me into another thing, which is this mat. I'm sure we've all took something apart on our cutting mats. As you can see, my nice new mat underneath there I've had ages. I've finally found a home for it now. I've got this table. It's an A3 or an A2 Amtech, which is the biggest one you can get, I think. Is this? It's also ESD. It's like a silicone work mat. It's supposed to be heat resistant if you're soldering on it. No static, unlike most silicone, which will be coated in dog ears and dust by now in my house with 4 doggies. But yeah, back on track, shall we? As you can see, we've got all sorts of little impressions on it. We've got little bits there, and these bits are magnetic. I haven't got anything metal. Oh, there we are. Moulded magnetic, you can see that's holding. So there's little bits in it that are magnetised. Even says so there, look. So you can put screws and nuts and little components in these little trays. There's even this little section, if you were making something very small, you can number the components. There's little parts boxes in here that you can slip bits. Another little magnetic area. There's a little section down here. I don't quite know what you did do with that, but you get the idea. So yeah, you know, it's not going to fall off onto the floor into the abyss that seems to make everything disappear once it hits the carpet. There's little pins here, so you've got your little tiny screwdrivers you can shove in the top. I think it was less than £10, something like that anyway. If anyone's interested, I'll dig out the link and put it yeah, well, I'll post it to you in a comment, as long as Google Woogle don't flag it as spam. But yeah, it's a handy little thing. As you can see, it's sort of about the next size down on the cutting mat. And as you see there, another little purchase this week was a Little cheap eBay bargain. They accepted my best offer. That's part of it. Let's get it around the other way before I break something off. Is a little, get it together, bit awkward to do one-handed. Nearly there, good enough. There's a little station building, and not enough room to rotate it around. Oh, it's holding. Just about. No, it's no come by up. So yeah, I sort of found these a couple of years ago. This is a hatchet. I said hatchet. Model railway magazine building. I sort of vaguely remembered it from a few years ago. It was an expensive way to build a model railway. I think you built a sort of little 6x4 model railway late in monthly instalments at £9 a magazine, and you know, one week you'd get the roof and the windows, and another week you'd get the floor and the walls. So that's then sort of putting you nearly 20 quid in just for one building, and so on and so forth until you were about 1200 quid light. And obviously people never got the way. I don't think there's many people. There is actually someone local to me got the full thing in boxes for sale for about £700. Needless to say, he hasn't sold it yet, but you can see someone's attempted to do a little bit of weathering on it and put what it looks like a gloss or satin varnish over the top. It's a little bit shiny, probably not picking it up on the camera. But that was another one, because I've picked up 2 or 3 in a job lot. Quite some time ago I bought, you know, just a pile of stuff off eBay, and there ended up being quite a few useful little goodies in it. There was the Royal Mail coach, the TPO, the little triggering device that goes on the track, and the catch for the bags, because I had a coach with no accessories, so I was after that. I think that's probably how I found it. And it had a few of these buildings in, or parts of, and I didn't know what they was for. I thought they were Pico or something, and I thought, well, it's actually quite a good idea to put a building together when, you know, no glue required. It all clips together, and they look relatively effective. And they sort of reminded me of some of the Pico stuff, but I couldn't find them. Who made them? There's no name on them or anything. It was per chance I happened to see someone's advert on Facebook and realised what they were. I'd done a bit of research and found the missing parts for the buildings I've got. So I'll show you those now. Yeah, so I ended up completing that. That was complete. I have got the chimneys, they're inside. That's all the other bits with the post office and the rest of the hatchet. I was missing the roof, which I managed to find on good old Fleabay. Did set me back about 8 quid with the postage, but obviously I've now got a complete building. I think I've got the porch now, I'm not sure. I think it's all in there. And the only thing I haven't got is, I don't know what that's to, what building it relates to. Somewhere in my pack here is the window pack, chimneys and such like, and the doors, possibly to that. But I haven't actually got the main structure of the building, so until I find out what structure the building is, I might be able to complete another one for relatively low cost, but they will be suitably painted down and weathered, and I don't think I'll illuminate these ones, because obviously they would just, you know, light would escape from every orifice in these little things, but I'm sure we can breathe a little bit more realism into them with a bit of weathering.